In this video, I'll walk you through how I've modeled Santiago Calatrava's Mediopadana train station in Vectorworks using a fully 3D workflow. We're focusing on form, rhythm, and control without relying on hybrid 2D tools. To begin, I start with a basic subdivision primitive, just a cube. This tool is key. From here, I subdivide the surface and begin manipulating the control points to establish the flowing, wave-like profile of the station. Before I start shaping the form, I use the crease tool to divide the subdivision surface into equal segments. This helps me structure the geometry and control how the surface reacts. The crease tool lets you define sharp edges or transitions, so parts of the form can be more angular while others stay smooth. After that, I switch to the transform tool and enable the iteration option, which allows me to cast a control grid over the surface. This gives me even finer control over the geometry. Each point in the grid can be manipulated to sculpt the surface with more precision. At this point, I add one more longitudinal crease down the length of the form. This gives me an additional line of control through the center, which is essential for managing the wave-like motion that defines the Mediopadana. At this stage, I begin adjusting the curvatures, manipulating control points to shape the flow and rhythm of the structure. I'm working with numeric inputs, but they're not driving the design. They're just a guide to help keep proportions balanced. The process itself is still very visual and responsive. Once the general curvature is in place, I switch to Face Hole mode within the Subdivision editing tools. This allows me to remove the lower faces of the mesh, effectively hollowing out the base and making the form resemble a tunnel or vaulted structure, more in line with the open, ribbed underside of the Mediopadana station. This step is important because it transitions the shape from a closed mass into something more architectural and believable in section. Next, I convert the subdivision surface into a solid. This gives me more flexibility to trim away any excess geometry and start defining clean structural boundaries. At this stage, the form becomes more than just a surface. It becomes something that can hold space. From there, I use the shell tool to give the solid thickness. This transforms the model from a sculptured shape into a shell with real dimensionality. With the shell in place, I move on to defining the profile curves that will guide the structural elements. Using the extract tool, I isolate both the lower and upper edge curves of the shell. These curves are grouped together so I can keep them aligned and manage them as a set. To focus on the curves, I temporarily hide all other elements in the model. Before extruding along the path, I set the work plane directly on the endpoint of one of the curves. This lets me work orthogonally to the geometry, which is important for accuracy when placing custom profiles. From there, I draw a circular profile on that plane. I convert it to a NURBS curve. This gives me greater control over the geometry, allowing for more complex manipulation, like extruding along path. Once the extrusion is complete, I reverse the hide function, bringing the rest of the model back while tucking away the curves. Next, I repeat the extraction, this time just the lower edge curve. I offset it downward to give it some separation. Group those curves and move it into an elevation view for more precise control. In elevation, I rotate the lower curves slightly to open up the spacing. And then I use the Loft Surface tool to connect them together. This creates a fluid surface between the curves, which acts as a transitional form between the two edge conditions. It's a flexible way to model supporting elements that follow the design's flow. Now that the form is established, I begin modeling the structural ribs. First, I unhide all objects and switch to elevation view, using the View Cube toggle. This gives me a clear orthographic perspective to draw accurately across the height of the shell. Using the rectangular tool, I draw from the top left corner down to the lower right corner, making sure the rectangle is tall enough to intersect the full height of the form. I then apply the shell tool to add thickness to that shape, turning it into a solid rib element. Switching to top view, I copy the rectangular rib toward the front of the model and I move it forward to create a consistent gap between ribs. This spacing will help reinforce the wave rhythm across the building. With that in place, I select the rib and apply the Duplicate Array tool. I set it to create 32 duplicates along the length of the structure, matching the rhythm and density seen in Mediopadana. Once all the ribs are in place, I select everything and use Subtract Solids from the Model menu. This cuts the ribs through the shell cleanly, finalizing the integration of structure and form.